Hey folks, welcome. Hi, so it's Aelia. Aelia, what's the scene? Welcome and welcome back to Reese Teas. Today I'm going to, as promised, give my thoughts on the products I would have gotten in my bodybuilding.com haul that I did a couple of months ago. So if that sounds like something you'd like to see, stay tuned. Even if it does sound like something you'd like to see, let the video run now because we need the analytics, let the channel grow. Please and thanks, yeah? So let's get into the video. Before I get into today's video, just a little heads up on some videos to come. I know when I made the haul that I promised I'd do a video comparing pre-workout to caffeine tablets. That will come later on, just because the gyms had closed very before I got to finish my study, yeah? So I did start comparing the two, but I'm not done. So when gyms open back, I will finish gathering my data and then I'll make that video for you guys. I also promised I'd make a video. I'm making a separate video with the different protein bars and cookies that I'd gotten. Yeah, so this video will be everything else from the whole, other than the pre-workouts, the protein bars and the cookies. Yeah, so now let's go. We have sleep mode, and this is the only thing I'll have in hand for the video because it was in the cupboard. Everything else is just going to be up on the screen because it's all in storage, because right now gyms are closed and I'm not using them because gyms are closed. So we have sleep mode, which is 200 milligrams of L-thiamine, 150 milligrams of valerian powder, which does not sound like something magical, you know, like valerian steel, valerian powder. You have chamomile powder, 150 milligrams, 100 milligrams of L-tryptophan, 100 milligrams of passion flower powder, 100 milligrams of lemon balm extract, 100 milligrams of hops extract, 100 milligrams of GABA, and 5.5 milligrams of melatonin powder. So, of the ingredients on that list, the two most important things were the L-thiamine, which is an amino acid that helps you to relax, and melatonin, which helps you to feel sleepy, which is very important from something that makes you sleep, and which is why sometimes people take melatonin and still can't fall asleep, because what melatonin does to the body is that it makes you feel sleepy. Would I recommend the product? I'm gonna have to say no, but here's why. Does it? Well, I have to say maybe. Pinch of salt. Here we go. Does it work? Yes, but it is a big capsule. All right, let me see if I can get one out. Right. It's a big capsule, right? It is a big capsule, and I'm not that person who usually has difficulty swallowing tablets, but I had difficulty swallowing this, like it's big. And that's what she said. What made it equally difficult is that I would have had dinner like a lot earlier on in the night, and I tend to take the tablet, let's just say like an hour before bed, or half an hour before bed, when I know I'm winding down for bed. So it's not just, and I try to avoid eating before bed. So now here's this capsule that is stuck in the middle of my throat. Water, it's not going nowhere, and then I feel like obligated to nibble on something for it to go down, and falling asleep should not be all that work, you know. But it works. I can definitely say it helps me to relax, it helps me to fall asleep. But I've had, what do you call those things? Dissolvable ones that you can just suck before you go to bed that are hassle-free. So maybe if you've used those and they don't work for you and you want to try something else, you can try this, but just know it's a big capsule. And I think one of the other things that's important to note, for me at least, is that when you take melatonin tablets, they kind of help your sleep to re-regulate to your circadian rhythm. So for me, what really helps is that I would tend to wake up on my own, usually before the alarm, and refreshed, because depending on what phase of sleep you wake up in, sometimes you wake up and not feel refreshed, and normally that phase is always the phase that the alarm goes off in, right? So did it help me to rest? Yes. Did it help me to fall asleep? Yes. Did it help me to wake up feeling refreshed in the morning? Yes. But was it hard to swallow? Absolutely. Up next we have Carnival. Carnival is still my favorite protein. It's a beef protein. I love the fruit punch flavor because it tastes like juice to me. I have friends who hate it. The one thing I will say about it is not that I have that fancy mixing cup that I did a review on that I'll put a link to below, and having used it in other cups as well as in the blender to mix with punches and stuff, it doesn't mix very well. Like, there's always little clumps left behind, and some of the other proteins that I'm going to talk about in this video that I did use didn't have that problem. So do I love Carnival still for the taste? Yes, but I feel as though they need to work on their mixability, you know, because there are other proteins that are surpassing them in that regard, and there are people for whom, I'm not one, but there are people for whom like that mixability is a deal breaker, because to be drinking something and then these clumps coming down, it's not the best experience, but I love it for the taste. Up next we have Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard 100% plant protein. I don't know if I'll ever get into manufacturing or putting out any kind of product, but if I do, please remind me to not make the names of my products like absolute mouthfuls. Like, that is just such a mouthful.
That's what she said. That's what who said? I never know.
But more importantly, it's also a nasty, disgusting mouthful. Like, it is the nastiest protein I've ever drank in my entire life, and that says a lot because I've drank a lot of them, and especially on my journey of trying to eliminate dairy from my life, and I'm trying to give all the non-dairy options a chance. And I tell you, this thing is disgusting. Like, the first couple of times I drank it, it took me hours just like sip, like, it is nasty. It has like this aftertaste in the back, and then the first time I drank it, I had to spit it out. Like, the first time I drank it, I had to check and make sure that I had read the instructions right and mixed it to the right proportion of water to protein. It's like, nah, maybe it's too concentrated. And then I checked, I was like, no. And even if you like add more water, it is still nasty. You still get this at the back of your throat. What I will say about it, and where it can work, is it mixes very well. So what I relegated that particular protein for back when gyms were open, I would use that for like smoothies. So if I know I'm making a smoothie with the berries and the banana and the whoever, that would be the protein that I put in there, because it mixed well, and it also gave you that milky texture and appearance, but on its own, horrid. So would I recommend it? Yes, asterisk, for that purpose. Yeah? Or if it is you had COVID and you can't taste and it wouldn't bother you, then sure. But barring that, no. Up next we have Optimum Nutrition Casein, and I got the cookies and cream one. I've used this particular brand before. I just never had this flavor before. I would say I prefer the strawberry. That's what I used to use. This would be like the last thing I'd usually drink before I go to bed, as it is a slow releasing protein, and it would be hopefully the source that my body would use to help to rebuild and repair, but also in instances where you may not be eating anytime soon while awake. It is a protein that when I drank it, I would feel satiated for longer. I would recommend the casein. Yes, I would just recommend another flavor. The cookies and cream, like, what is a cookie and cream flavor? Like, it was just bleh. It didn't taste bad, but it didn't rock my world, you know. And after I was just like, but what is a cookie and cream flavor really? Isn't it just vanilla with chunks in it? You know. Look at my face. Would I recommend? Yes, but try different flavor. Or if it is you like cookies and cream for whatever reason, then go right ahead. But it did what it was supposed to do. And at that time when I was working out and working on getting my body back, how far we fallen? It definitely As I said, I've used it before, so it definitely helped me to feel satiated when I went to bed at night. I wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night to eat anything, and all that I've already said before, so it does what it has to do. I would just recommend a different flavor. Up next we have Quadrillion, which I have not used yet. It's a fat burner. Again, gyms are closed and I didn't get around to using this, so I'll probably do a Quadrillion review, a standalone Quadrillion review whenever Ketos open, the honorable Ketos open the gyms, which I don't know. At the time that this is filmed, the gyms are closed. I don't know when I'll release this because I also don't know when I'll sit down and edit it. But as of right now, they're looking like gyms will open anytime soon. Up next, you have Optimum Nutrition Probiotic Prebiotic Gummies. Some studies have shown that prebiotics and probiotics help to alleviate the symptoms of lactose intolerance. And I kind of say, like, if you know me well, you don't have to know me well. If you've met me, then you should know that lactose and I are not friends. But no, it's a one-way. Like, I love lactose. Lactose just don't love me. Now, these gummies, I would say, would I recommend them? Absolutely yes, because they have helped to alleviate my symptoms of lactose intolerance. However, at the point in that this video was made, I have to admit that I've only ever used it prior. So I use it normally like an hour or half an hour before eating things that contain lactose. However, what I'm realizing as I film this now is that I've only ever used it before having things with cheese. And the impact that cheese has on my body is not as dramatic as the impact that like ice cream or milk would have on my body. So I recommend it with an asterisk. So I will say I've had it a couple of times before having things with cheese and woken up the next morning not having to wake up in the middle of the night. Right? And woken up the next morning, normal. Let's TMI, let's do this, like normal smelling flavors, normal texture and bulk and color and consistency of stool, which are not usually what would happen after cheese. So yeah, long story short, I'd recommend it. However, I haven't had it with ice cream or milk or anything semi-solid or liquid that contains lactose. So there's that. Yeah, so when you're trying it, don't go and try it and say Rio and say try it and then you go and drink 3 milkshake and then we see you for a week and you blame me. Right? So that's what I'll say. I'll say recommend asterisk. Up next we have the Redcon meal replacement shake. The full name will be on the screen. I need to note to self when making your notes for videos, do not be lazy, write out the whole names of things, because then you get to the time of recording and you feel as though your little reminder thingy will jog your memory, and it joggeth not, no jog. Yeah, so the Redcon meal replacement protein should be right here on the screen, or maybe right here on the screen according to the I have room. Would I recommend it? Well, here we go. First of all, it was very, very thick until my blendy cup thingy actually couldn't blend it, and I had to mix it in parts. I had to mix it half and half, and then pour it into another cup, because by the time I got because a serving is 4 scoops, and by the time I got to like the 3rd scoop, the machine was just like, well, what are you trying to do? But also, very importantly, once I had it, and certain things happened, when I read the label more closely, though it has a soy base, it contains milk. And what annoys me is that during the search, when I was using the filters on the website, that came up in the non-dairy section, and I skimmed. I don't know if that contains milk fine print that is on the bottle was on the site, because I think when I clicked back the link when I was writing my notes for this review, it was out of stock, so it didn't come up, so I couldn't check. But the point is, it contains milk. Just know that it contains milk, and all that comes with milk for those of us who have problems with milk. Also of note, because like again, once everything happened, I took a lot more time to read the label in detail. What gives it its bulk is that it contains yam, And once you have a good country upbringing, you can't drink something with yam and I realize it's not yam. Like when I drink that, it's like, but what is this in yummy so? And then I read the thing and like it when I said it sounded preposterous, and then I read the label, it's like, but it thing have yam. We drinking yam in 2021. So if you're not a person who likes to taste the yam, just know that, because I got the blueberry cobbler flavor. So I mean, let's be clear, like it tastes nice. It tastes like blueberries, but that yam taste was in the back of my throat. So what I would say is that 4-scoop serving gives you 52 grams of protein and a very, very thick shake. So my recommendation to you would be to just use 2 scoops as a serving, which will give you 26 grams of protein. And it would also multiply the amount of servings in a container by 2, so it will last you a lot longer. I can't remember how many servings are in a container. I'll probably put it up on the screen as well. But would I recommend it? Yes, I'd recommend it. I would recommend it. However, I'd recommend it for those of you who do not have issues with milk. If you do, I'd recommend that you take your precautions before using it, and I would recommend that you use half of a serving size, because 1, it's very, very thick if you use a full size, and 2, who is drinking 52 grams of protein in one sitting? Nobody, ever. Not me. Up next, you have the Hydroxycut Gummies, which were fat-burning gummies that also contain vitamins. The main ingredient in this was Carnival robusta extract, which some studies has shown is a green tea or a green coffee bean extract that helps to diminish the amount of carbohydrates that your body absorbs after a meal. I was using this as my fat burner when gyms were open. Well, fat burner, because it's not really a fat burner, but rather it diminishes carbohydrate absorption, as I just said. And especially especially before I knew I'd be having like pasta or something like that had a lot of carbs, I would definitely eat that before. I think 4 gummies is a serving, 4 or 2. Again, I'll put it on the screen. I would say that for me it made a difference, because around that time I was trying to lose the 40 pounds of COVID weight that I would have gained at the time, and I would say that I lost the weight a lot faster than it would have taken than it had taken me to lose weight in the past. So would I recommend it? Yes. Yeah. I also got these Chic Gloves, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They're okay gloves. Like they do what they need to do. Nothing fabulous about them. They're regular gloves. They're not bad. They're okay gloves. Would I recommend them? Sure. And last but not least is Fiber Mode. Fiber Mode is a product that they have with 5 milligrams of fiber and probiotics. So I'd gotten the powder probiotic and then the gummy probiotic to try and see which one would work better for me. The issue with Fiber Mode probiotic is I know that the bottle says Fiber Mode probiotic, but what it should say is laxative, friends, because darling, like, I've only used it once. I've literally only used it once. I've only used it once. It is a tasteless powder. I probably would have used it, and I don't even think that day, like, I used it before having a milk product. Like, if I remember correctly, like, that day I was just bloated. I was just bloated that day, and I just wanted to not be bloated. And well, with that being said, was I bloated afterwards? No. But it was a laxative. 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 Yeah. I didn't know what I'm gonna do with it. Like, I have it there, and if you need a laxative, message me now. Let me know if it is if you need a laxative. I feel I might just give it to you, because it was a laxative. Right, so with that being said, those are my thoughts on those products from my bodybuilding.com haul. Comment below, let me know what you think. Do you use any of these products? Would you try any products that I did recommend? Have you used any products that I didn't recommend and they worked for you? Are you lactose intolerant? What do you use for protein in the gym? And anything else, just comment below. Say hi, how you going? So long I see you. And until next time, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification. And for your convenience, and because I know you ain't had none to do, especially if you reach this far, because you know my videos will be long. What's your next one? I'm gonna put it right here, maybe right here or somewhere on the screen for your convenience. And until next time, we'll pick up.